Now from Louisiana's News Channel, this is 9 News This Morning.
4:30 on a midweek Wednesday. Welcome to it, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. Again, 4:30 your time, 56 the number that you're paying attention to right now, and 0 the number of raindrops out there as well. Dr. Steve Caprott on our First Alert Weather Center. Morning, how are you?
All right, we've got some changes arriving this morning. Cold front moving through during the overnight. And
I would not call today's verdict justice, however, but it is accountability.
People across the world waking up, digesting a verdict here in a case that's centered on a very tough to watch, obviously cell phone video, emotional testimony. Groups across America marching last night after former police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty in the death of George Floyd. Now the focus turns to sentencing. That is expected to take place in about 8 weeks. We'll have more about the verdict and what's next in about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, search and recovery entering a new day with favorable weather conditions, favorable sea conditions in the Gulf of Mexico. A very different situation than those conditions passing through, you know this, a week ago. 8 people still unaccounted for this morning after that lift boat accident last Tuesday. These are the kinds of conditions the 17 contracted divers are in right now while they're searching for those remaining crew members. While families are still grieving, some are still hoping. Some attorneys are also expecting lawsuits to follow.
Jones Act is the law that protects the seaman and gives him rights against his employer. The Limitation of Liability Action is another law that provides for protection to vessel owners to make sure they're not exposed to too great of a risk.
Hugh Lambert, they're expecting that the decisions will come down to factors like company communication, how effective the equipment was during the storm, but for the meantime, we're going to keep an eye out for any update as that search continues. The Board of Elementary and Secondary Education is going to be meeting later on this morning talking about what next fall is going to look like for Louisiana public schools. A lot of conversations right now about protocols, vaccines. Right now, many districts are not making it a requirement for teachers to get the shot. Say it's personal choice. Many leaders do try to make them accessible, obviously, to anybody who wants to get one there. You can watch the meeting live at the link right there. You see it at the bottom of your screen. It begins at 9 o'clock. Hey, and this is for parents in East Baton Rouge Parish. Today, the last day to complete a survey from the school board about that Smart Start plan. Kind of retooling it here. This comes after a lot of folks spoke out against the July 28th start date there for students, even earlier for teachers. You can go to the website to find the link, but you need to get this done by 2 p.m. today. Actually, most parents should have received a text yesterday with that survey attached to it. School board's going to compile all the submissions and make the final decisions at their meeting that is set for tomorrow. A 9 News update from our investigators. Another high-ranking member of Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry's office has resigned. Matt Derby's, who served as Assistant Attorney General, saying he simply could not stomach working there anymore. He claims he was retaliated against, denied a promotion after he came forward with allegations that Landry's number 2 man, Pat McGee, had made sexually charged comments about women in the office. But Landry's office saying Tuesday that Derby's himself is accused of also saying sexist things about women.
Engaged in inappropriate and unprofessional communications that is sexist in nature with and about DOJ employees and third parties.
I'd like to see the text messages first.
Yeah, that's Jill Kraft right there, the Derby's attorney, saying her client denies doing anything wrong, says Landry is trying anything he can to dig up dirt on him to deflect from the many problems in the AG's office. Well, families in Ascension Parish talking right now about Parish President Clint Quintmois and his vetoing a decision by the Parish Council to approve a new subdivision just west of Highway 73 in Prairieville. After originally denying plans for the DeLawn Estates subdivision last year, well, last week the Parish Council ended up voting 6-5 to allow construction to go forward. But Ascension Parish President Quintmois releasing a letter saying that he was vetoing the council's decision.
Turning that down when it meets our guidelines puts us in some legal jeopardy. Is that a perfect decision? I don't know. No one will know.
Well, we'll see. Again, the vote was 6-5, right, to move it forward here. To override the veto, 8 council members have to vote against it. That's at their meeting tomorrow. We'll see. Folks, tragic news as we stay on top of the lift boat disaster just off the coast of Port Fourchon. Authorities have confirmed now that a 5th body has been recovered. The boat, of course, left Port Fourchon last Tuesday, got caught up in that very severe weather moving in. Total of 19 crew members that began that trip. So let's recap what we know. 6 people, of course, rescued. 5 bodies have been found at this point. 8 people still unaccounted for. Family members of the missing crew say it's painful going day by day with no word about their loved ones.
We still got to come back to another meeting tomorrow. So when this meeting comes tomorrow, it'll probably be another tomorrow, and another tomorrow. By that time, how they gonna make it? They have no food, they have no water, they have no air. It's too much.
Authorities have not disclosed the identity of the most recent body found, but family members have been made aware, they tell us. In the meantime, the joint effort between the United Cajun Navy, local authorities, the Coast Guard will continue to search for the remaining crew members. Of course, this story has been developing really by the day, by the hour. We know there's going to be a 1 p.m. news conference from the Coast Guard and the NTSB as well. We're going to have our eyes and ears on that, bring you the very latest. Of course, as always, you can find the updates as they come into us right there in the 9 News app. Turning now to our coronavirus coverage, Baton Rouge's mass vaccination site there at Bon Carré on Florida Boulevard hasn't seen as big of a turnout as leaders were kind of hoping here. At this site, health leaders are able to give out 3,000 shots a day, right? But there's been less than 1,000 people since it opened on Friday. Only about 30% of Baton Rouge residents are vaccinated right now. The key to increasing that number may be getting younger people to get the shot. Some of this age group aren't so quick to buy in.
It's not one particular demographic or one particular age group. It looks to be across the board a large alarm. So the young people are wanting to say, just wait a minute, let me get a little bit more information so I can have more of an informed consent.
The site is closed today. It's closed every Monday, but will be open Tuesdays through Sundays. It's really pretty easy. You don't even have to get out of your car for this. You see that right there. If you do want to schedule your vaccination, actually you can go ahead and call the number on your screen, 855-453-0774 to make that happen. Advisors with the Centers for Disease Control planning to meet Friday discussing the pause in the J&J vaccine here after several women suffered rare blood clotting, with one dying as well. Dr. Anthony Fauci confident that by the end of this week, we're going to have a better understanding of how we're going to see the J&J vaccine moving forward.
I don't know what that's going to be, but, thinking about what the possibilities are, one of the possibilities would be to bring them back, but to do it with some form of restriction or some form of warning. But I believe by Friday we're going to know the answer to that.
So far, about half of all American adults have received at least one COVID-19 shot. Got a Crime Stoppers alert for you to, well, say something if you know something here. Baton Rouge police asking for your help after the weekend comes to a deadly ending. Officers say one man is dead after a shooting. This is the 600 block of Wooddale Boulevard last night. No word just yet on the victim, the identity, officially anyway, of the man or what led up to the shooting. Again, it's Crime Stoppers, 344-STOP, 100% anonymous if you think you might be able to help out. Hey, happening today, Governor John Bel Edwards set to make an announcement on the steps of the Capitol. It's going to be at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're also expecting the Department of Transportation to be a part of this announcement as well. So that might kind of clue you in here. We'll have more details waiting for you, as always, the 9 News app and, yes, later newscasts. Also on your radar today, Troy Carter, Karen Carter-Peterson fighting, of course, for the vote to fill the state's 2nd congressional district seat there in Washington, D.C., and you can hear from both of them today. Participating in a special forum hosted by the Baton Rouge Press Club. Our political analyst, Jim Inkster, in fact, going to be moderating. Again, this kicks off about 1:30 this afternoon. Voters making the final decision in this runoff race this coming Saturday. Also on the ballot for some of you watching right now in Ascension Parish, you're going to be heading to the polls, voting on a new sewer agreement. Ascension Parish proposing right now to sell and transition the parish's sewer assets and customers to national water infrastructure, which is going to build a more modern system serving the unincorporated areas there on the east bank of Ascension Parish. Some parish officials believe this would create more money for the parish, but some customers are worried about how it's going to affect their monthly rates. Again, you get to vote on what you want to see. More help coming in the search now for the missing 7 crew members still, the Seacor Powerlift boat. The Cajun Navy stepping up still efforts. They've been out there for a good while. They say it costs more than $1,000 in fuel per plane per day and even more for shrimp boats, but the need to continue searching is still here. Cajun Navy taking to social media, trying to get as much help as possible, really. President of the Cajun Navy saying this is really an all hands on deck kind of an operation.
a lot of people are stepping up. This is a massive operation that we're undertaking. It's the largest operation that I've been involved in since 2005, Katrina.
Unfortunately, there have not been any new findings since yesterday. The Navy is hoping to raise at least $50,000 to continue the search. A warning that some video connected to this next story could be tough to watch for a lot of folks. A 67-year-old man who was tased while in Port Allen police custody. Turning to our lead investigator, Scotty Hunter, we now have a good look at the body camera video showing exactly what happened that evening.
Help! Help! Hey, stop screaming. Stop the
Scream. Scream again. Go ahead.
Help!
Stop that. You stop it. You scream again. You mother. You scream again. You, You understand me? Come on. We're going to book him in for the
The video showing Officer Nolan Dehan using his taser on the 67-year-old while the man was handcuffed in the back of the police unit. After later realizing the man had actually broken a window in his own home, the officer can be heard trying to figure out what to charge him with, deciding on disturbing the peace, possibly because he was screaming for help. You can watch the full video unedited yourself. Make up your own kind of mind here. It's in the investigator section of the 9. How about this? An opportunity to get a vaccine if you are interested. Leaders are setting up in Baker, Miracle Place Church, from 1 to 4 this afternoon. That's right there on Main Street. You see all the details on your screen. On-site registration is available, but you will need your ID, your driver's license, your ID, insurance card as well, if you have one. You know, it's no secret, though, that some people aren't really on board with getting the vaccine. There's a new effort right now to help get these folks more comfortable with getting that COVID-19 shot. Yeah, knocking on doors. Volunteers with Together Louisiana going door to door Sunday, trying to convince folks to get vaccinated, maybe answer some questions as well. Only about a quarter of Louisiana adults are fully vaccinated, and that's a far cry from where health experts say they want us to be here. Organizers say most of the hesitation comes from misinformation and a lack of access.
I know there's a lot of information, there's a lot of websites, there's a lot of news coverage, but many folks maybe in some of these communities might not watch regular news, might not have access to regular internet, so it's like that information still has not got to them. And so we're bringing the information to their doorstep.
The effort coming as the Louisiana Department of Health saying since last Thursday, about 87,000 more people in Louisiana have gotten at least one of the COVID-19 vaccine shots. Some news from LSU. Interim President Tom Galligan saying students will not be required to get a COVID-19 vaccine for next semester. The president is, however, encouraging students to get theirs by hosting mass vaccination events on campus. LSU's decision coming as more than 40 schools across the country are, in fact, requiring students to be vaccinated before returning to in-person classes. So you know, we have not heard any plans from Southern yet. When we do, of course, we'll make sure you know as well. What's that news about a triple shooting in the capital city? One person dead, 2 others hurt after gunfire erupted on Myrtle Avenue, closer to Highland, the old South Baton Rouge. Happened right around 9 o'clock last night. We're told that 2 people hurt are expected to survive. BRPD is still looking into this case, asking for any information that can help them find a suspect. It's going to be Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. Police also asking for your help trying to find this missing woman. Her name is Deborah Militello. Authorities believe she suffers from mental illness, was last seen around 10 o'clock Sunday night on Dallas Drive. That's the Wooddale area. If you've seen her, maybe know anything that might be able to help, it's going to be Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. They'll get that information into the right hands. All right, let's give you a look. These 4 Angola prison guards are in trouble with the law themselves right now, pending an investigation. Department of Corrections saying the guards used excessive force on an inmate, then tried to cover it up. DOC says the inmate was being moved to a different unit when all this happened. A report does not say exactly what the guards allegedly did to the inmate, but while being treated for the injuries, the inmate let medical staff know that he was abused. That disclosure sparked the investigation, and these 4 guards now on administrative leave. The report also says additional charges are pending.